Coffee's ready. I'm here. You're here. I don't know what else we need. So, clink, clink, clink. In 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Monday. It's April 5th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. It's a little weaker than I wanted. Oh, well. So, there's a pretty solid, good morning, Stacey. There's a pretty solid overlap between people who watch this show and people who follow me personally on social media. There's some big stuff going on. I am physically okay. I am safe. That's as much as I can say right now. I will say more when I can. And so I'm just going to try to put that aside. There's stuff in the shelves. I can show you that. So this is the bar side, which needs some restructuring, of course, but that's what it is. And then the other side, my music collection and some other various knickknacks. For those of you that don't know, I spent about a decade DJing, primarily weddings, and have a pretty extensive CD collection. Or I had a very extensive CD collection. I got rid of a lot of it back when, people bought CDs. But most of what's up there, so there were 1, 2, 3, there's 6 binders on the top, and there's got to be 12 or 13 on the second row. I think the top is the non-90s hip-hop. The second one, I think, is primarily 90s hip-hop. There's got to be 20 CDs per binder. So it's a lot of music. I enjoy music. I had been using my Blu-ray player as a CD player periodically, but it died. So I need to buy a CD player, which feels so weird. I'm going to try to get a boombox kind of thing. Something I can put batteries in, because that's cool. My car has a CD player, of all things. So this weekend, let's talk about Saturday. Let's not talk about Sunday. There's birds. The birds are back. Yesterday morning, I was in the garage and doing some work on a shelf, which I will show you when it is. Well, I can show you the shelf. 1 second. It's turned into show and tell day. There was a spot that I was like, this needs a shelf. So I made a shelf. And so I was working on this. This kind of woodworking is a little bit new for me. Polyurethane, when I did the trim there, that was the first time I'd ever worked with that. There's definitely some spots in here where this could have been better. So I'm debating whether or not to sand it down and go at it again with a better brush, because that's really what it needs. And as I'm looking at it in the light, there's some things here that I don't like, so I probably don't. But I was in the garage working on that, and I heard a mourning dove, and I was like, that sounds really close. That better not be in my attic. And it was right outside the door. And it was, by the time I got to the door, it was almost this close. And it was just right there. John says, good morning. Good morning, John. And good morning, Stacy, and whoever else is watching, good morning. But I did a bunch of stuff around the house. Worked on that. One of my kitchen stools, wooden stools, was getting all wonky, so I tore that thing apart and putting that back together. Glue and clamps and nails and screws and bolts and all the things have to go in there. I think one of the dowels might need to be shortened. I have a friend who wiggles on stools. Stacy says, that's a pretty good morning dove call. Thank you. Got a lot of birds around here. They were taking turns at the feeder yesterday. I was trying to figure out why are you here? Why are you in the driveway on the ground just walking around? And then I saw it was eyeing the feeder. And then as soon as a bird left the feeder, it flew over. So. The birds figured it out. I don't know why people can't. What else happened? Friday did some work. Yeah, it was a pretty. I went out. So the place that I was going to put the treehouse, I went out. I took a look at that. I talked about that on Friday. It was cold. Saturday was colder than I expected. It was, by noon it was only 40, and I have no desire to go outside and start building things at 40. And I looked at the tree I was going to use, and I said, it's not going to be fun. So I found another spot that is less hidden, which kind of bums me out, but probably a safer spot. It's going to require more wood, but it's a better platform. So I will probably build that. So now I got to do some more research because the span that those boards are going to take up, I'm going to need to support some stuff. So if I'm going to do it, I want to try not to kill the trees, and I want to do it right. So what's going on today? We got an episode dropping. That episode. It's not there yet. It wasn't there when I checked a few minutes ago. I'll probably upload in a minute. You're going to love it. You're going to love this episode. I love this episode. It's one of my favorites we've ever done. It's so much fun. Great stories. Absolutely phenomenal stories. Name dropping like you wouldn't believe. What else happened today? I got a few client calls. I'm going to try to go to the gym. I was going to go to the gym last night. I was not in the mood. Yeah. Just more work. Working on the next book. Oh, yeah. whistlekickprograms.com launched on Friday. So go check it out. For the first time, we have bundles, discounted bundles of programs that you can buy. They're all there. Good stuff. Use the code FIRSTCUP15. Save 15%. Those codes are not active over on that site. I got to put that in. But I don't know if we're going to discount the bundles because they're already discounted 30%. I don't know that we can stack another 15 on that. If you want to get this individual programs, you can still get those at whistlekick.com. So if you want to use the code, you can still do that. But you should probably get a bundle because it's, by the time you add the other program on, it's so cheap. So that's up. And I'm taking a step back from that to work on the next book, which is a mass market book about health and not fitness, but just health. Things people can do to stay healthy or get healthier. Simple things, cheap things, even free things. I've been looking forward to that book for a while, so we'll work on that. What else can I say before I see what you all gave me to talk about? I rearranged plants around here. Not much else to say. All right, let's see what you gave me. And if you want to give me something to talk about, respond to, think about, whatever, drop it in the comment section below once the show closes. All right, Frank's throwing us some bonus Easter jokes. Oh yeah, hung out with the family yesterday for Easter. It was cool. It was good times. We ate a lot of food. And drew in the driveway with the kiddo, a sidewalk chalk. My niece. That was a good time. All right, so Frank's giving us some bonus Easter jokes. My suspicion is because he knows that I am sad. What kind of jewelry does the Easter Bunny wear? 14-karat gold. What do you call the Easter Bunny the day after Easter? Exhausted. What happened to the Easter Bunny when he misbehaved at school? He was expelled. Why shouldn't you tell an Easter egg a joke? It might crack out. What does the Easter Bunny plant next to the green beans in his garden? Jelly beans. How can you make Easter preparations go faster? Use the Express Lane. Where does the Easter Bunny get all the eggs he hides? He gets them from an eggplant. I've got two kinds of eggplant I'm growing this year. One of them is weird looking, like they're round. Very strange. What do you get if you give an Easter Bunny a pair of socks? A sock hop. Why did the Easter Bunny cross the road? Because the chicken had his eggs. A couple more. Why was the Easter Bunny arrested? For harassment. What game does Easter Bunny like to play at the park? Hopscotch. And the last one. Why is the Easter Bunny so smart? He's an egghead. And this is from Andrew. So back on Friday, we ended up in a conversation about YouTube channels. What YouTube channels do I follow? And I was talking about how I don't really follow that many. Where did I watch this weekend? It's more of those primitive skill ones. But Andrew writes in his suggestion for a YouTube channel to watch is Diane Jennings. She's a lovely woman from Ireland that does videos of reactions to travel that she has done. It's interesting to see the different viewpoints of overseas people to everyday things that we do. Most of the time you don't actually need to watch, you can just listen. As someone who visits the UK on a regular basis, I enjoy hearing how she views things. Oh, cool. Great suggestion, thank you. And April 2021 is Active Dog Month, and I will always take quotes or conversation about dogs. I love dogs. Frank says, I love YouTube. YouTube's solid. It's, you know, when Wikipedia first came out and it started gaining traction, here's an aside. What some of you may not know is that for a few years, I ran in a pretty interesting online tech circle. I was the managing editor for a tech publication, digital tech publication, that Dell was our biggest client, the computer company. And we had some really cool writers on staff. I was sending paperwork to people that I had looked up to for a very long time. It was really interesting. And so hanging around those people and some of the staff meetings and everything were really interesting. One of the things people back then in this circle were referring to was Wikipedia. And they were talking about Wikipedia as the, I don't know if this was John Dvorak's turn of phrase, but he used it often. The place of all knowledge, basically referring to Wikipedia as this thing that had all the information. I think that's YouTube now. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's not knowledge. There's a lot of stuff that's fluffier, like this. This isn't knowledge. That's why I feel so far away. We'll fix that. But YouTube, you can figure out how to fix anything on YouTube. You can figure out how to build anything on YouTube. You can figure out how to say or do just about anything. As martial artists, if we want to learn how to do a form, if I want to help myself remember my Taekwondo forms that are half in there, what do? I go to YouTube. And there are a handful of people that I know do it the way that my instructor does it. So I'll just pull those up and watch those a few times. Oh, okay, yep, that in that move. Got it. Okay, now it's back out of my head. Cool. It's pretty interesting. I think that Wikipedia is an amazing thing for reference. It's a super cool project. But YouTube is more open. It is easier to contribute to YouTube. Although some of that openness appears to be changing. Some interesting stuff going on there. But still, I would say that, like if you want it, there are many of us that, let's say your dishwasher broke. There are a bunch of us that would say, all right, let me see if I can find this on how to do this on YouTube. Whereas a decade ago, nobody would do that. You have like one person who would do that, and they'd end up with a bunch of parts on the floor, and then they would call the repair person. So I think that's pretty interesting. All right, so April 2021 is Active Dog Month. And we've got some quotes about dogs. You can usually tell that a man is good if he has a dog who loves him. W. Bruce Cameron. You can say a lot about a person or a group of people based on the interaction of dogs with them and with those outside the group. Back when I was in IT, I went to a lot of offices, a lot of businesses, and those that had dogs, everyone was happier, by far. There were places I would go with dogs, and I would definitely linger. One of the few clients that I didn't let anybody else on staff work with was the Humane Society, because there were animals. And there were plenty of days that, I'd bill out 2 hours and be gone for 6, which, if I wasn't the owner of the business, that might have been inappropriate. But I got to play with dogs. Because dogs are awesome. And cats and bunnies. They had a bunny adoption event one day, and because I had a rabbit and knew stuff about rabbits, they brought me in as an expert, which meant I got to pet and talk about bunnies, which was super cool. Hopefully not too many people gave bunnies as gifts this weekend. That happens a lot every year, and people are not prepared for what owning a rabbit really is. Putting rabbits in little cages and just confining them to that is not okay. They're animals that need a lot of movement, and there's a reason that rabbits in cages, their lifespan is, a couple years, 3 years, 4 years, and my rabbit lived to be 11. There's a reason. They need to get out and move around. Daniel says, I have a canine coworker. It just, things are just better with the energy of a dog. I don't know how else to say it. Petting, scratching, and cuddling a dog could be as soothing to the mind and heart as deep meditation, almost as good for the soul as prayer. Oh, Dean Koontz. I assume that's the author, Dean Koontz. He is also parked potato. I have met Daniel's dog, Albus, who is a sweet dog. And yes, named for that Albus. Stacy says, I can't bring my cats to work. Imagine cats in a lab. Oh, there'd be so much broken glass. They would love it, though. I feel like there's a comic there. Cats in a lab. Or what if cats like kind of personified working in a lab? Someone hires like a cat person in a lab. And, why haven't you gotten anything done? And there's just piles of broken glassware on the ground. There's some humor in there. Stacy says that her 2 cats, or 2 of her cats, I forget how many you have, are Sirius and Cerberus. So we've got a bunch of Harry Potter fandom going on in the chat. Zeus is not named after anything Harry Potter. I should probably watch those movies again. It's been a while. I've only ever watched all of the movies in one day once. And by watched, I mean I put them on early in the morning and they ran continuously. And I watched much of most of them. But there was going outside and moving around. Like, I didn't leave the house, but that was a good day. That was a good day. That was actually a celebration of someone's birthday. Next. Love is a four-legged word. Unknown. Yeah. Dogs and children, small children, very small children, they don't hold back on their love. And kids, we often corrupt as they age. Dogs are really hard to corrupt with their love. Not that you should, but someone can beat a dog and that dog will still love the person. Quite often, as if it never happened. Dogs are awesome. Oof. Pardon me. One more. I wish I've been saying for years that when the cat passes, I will get a dog, and I will. I just don't know what the time delay will be. I don't know how long she has. She's in good health. Her dementia has not been as bad of late, but she's really thin. She's wasting away. And our last quote, this one's from Duane Chapman. And remember, if you've got quotes or comments or feedback or whatever, make sure you drop in the comments section below. Once the show closes, I'll read it tomorrow. If you're new, subscribe, turn on notifications. We do this show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Yes, I'm delaying the quote, so you listen to this stuff. Martial Arts Radio episodes come out Monday and Thursday. And let's see if this one's here yet. Nope. Looks like it's uploading, but it's probably in your podcast feed. What else do I tell you? If you want to support us, whistlekick.com, whistlekickprograms.com, patreon.com/whistlekick. If you do Patreon, you get more content, bonus content, stuff you don't see anywhere else. I think I've got a video training episode to do today. Frank says, I'm here for you if you need me. Thank you, Frank. I had a great talk with Frank on Friday. We have wonderful conversations. I appreciate you, my friend. Probably, honestly, the highlight of Friday was chatting with Frank. And so let's do this final quote, and I'll send you into your Monday. Dog is God, spelled backward. Duane Chapman. Well, not to get too religious, but depending on how you see faith and God, to me, God is the God is love. And if God is love, dogs are pretty darn close, aren't they? Hope you have a great day. And I'll see you back here tomorrow, bright and early, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time for another episode of First Cup. Take care, everybody.